Hi, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to be looking at pseudo-selectors. So this is a special type of selector that is used commonly in interactivity with your website. So this is usually visible only when something is done on the website. So it's a pretty cool feature, and it's used very commonly throughout CSS. And once we get to the animations and transitions part, we're actually going to be using pseudo-selectors a lot. So let's get into it. Now there's a few pseudo-selectors I want to cover here. There's a lot of them, but I'm only going to be covering the main ones that we are going to be using. So before we go on, I'm just going to show you what a pseudo-selector actually is. So usually what you would do is after a selector, you would add a colon and then the name of the pseudo-selector. So this is just an example of one of them. And then the properties will apply normally. Now watch what happens when I hover over our H2 here. You can see that it's working perfectly, and when we hover over it, it is turning red. Now obviously it doesn't apply to the subtitle or the services part here, because again these are separate classes, and obviously with specificity and everything like that, they won't apply. So there we go. We have everything working here, and that's one of the pseudo selectors, which is hover. So let's move on to some of the next ones. Now there's also two that I'd like to talk about, which is first child and last child. So the concept behind child and parent elements is that right here, if we look, actually this is a little bit complicated example. Let's look at this unordered list here. We have a UL unordered list, and then we have 3 LIs. Okay. So pretty much this is going to be the first child because it's placed inside of the UL. The second is going to be the second child, and then this is going to be the third child. So you can see here that this is kind of the relationship between child and parent. And what we can actually do is specify which one we want to select. So if I go over here and select all ULs, and then of course the colon for the pseudo selector, and select first child. Now I'm just going to say set the color to steel blue as well. Okay. So I'm going to refresh the page, and you can see that it's not working. Now, although it might seem like you want to put the UL first, obviously because again, you're looking for the first child of the UL. This isn't actually how you're supposed to write it. Instead, you're supposed to write the element that you're trying to select, which in this case is our list item, or our LI. So now if I go ahead and refresh the page, you can see that the first one here is going to be blue. It's a little bit of a confusing rule to get around, but once you get used to it, it becomes very easy. We can also change this to last or last child, like this. And then what's going to happen is it's going to select the last one. Now there's also one more that I'd like to talk about quickly, which is nth child. So I'm just going to show you how this thing works. Nth child, and then in brackets, you put the number here. So what you're going to put here is pretty much what number of the child you want to style. In this case, I want every second LI child to be colored steel blue. So throughout the page, every second LI that is inside of that is a child element is going to be styled blue. Go ahead and refresh the page. You can see that works there. So there's actually one more selector that I want to talk about, at least for children, and that is the only child selector. So I think it makes perfect sense. Pretty much what we're trying to look for is something that there is only one child inside of it. So for example, nothing on this page here actually has one child. But why don't we go ahead and add that? So under this list, I'm just going to temporarily remove these here, just like that. All right, let's go ahead and save, make sure it's working. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and select this. So I'm going to say LI, like that, and I'm going to say only child. So pretty much what this is saying is for every LI that is the only child of its parent. And you can see this, the UL, this only has one child. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a color of purple, for example. And you can see that it works perfectly. But what were to happen if I tried this on, let's just say, for example, the TDs here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add a new one, TD, only child. And I'm also going to give this a color of purple. Just like that. Now let's go ahead and refresh and see what's going on. All right. So you can see that that TD right here, it's somewhere in this table, nothing's actually happening. That's because, as we can see here, there is nothing on this page where there's only one TD as a child. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Sometimes pseudo selectors won't actually style anything if they don't exist. So there we go. That's pretty much for the basic children kind of pseudo selectors. But let's move on to some other pseudo selectors. Now, there are selectors of this type that are actually specific to certain elements, and one of them is the anchor tag, or the A tag. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an anchor tag under this H2 here. Oh, whoops. A. And I'm just going to give it a link or an endpoint of Google. So just like that. Okay, there we go. So in here, I'm just going to say click here to go to Google. Pretty simple A tag. Hopefully everyone knows how to do this. There we go. We have our link there. So I click on it, takes me there. Pretty standard stuff. Now, we can actually create pseudo selectors for this. So I'm going to be giving you 2 for now. Now, there are many, many more, but these are the 2 main ones you need to focus on. The rest of them are kind of generalized, and these are the main 2 that you're going to be using. So I'm going to create them here. And remember, you're using the element name. You can use the class if you want. It's not limited to single element names. Actually, why don't I go ahead and do that? I'm going to give it an ID, because again, we only have one of these on the page. I'm going to give it an ID of Google link, just like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and reference that in here. So remember, it's just the name of the selector, Google-link in this case, and then the colon. So here I'm going to go ahead and say link. Okay, so this is the first pseudo selector, and then there's also a second one. Now don't worry about what I'm typing for now. I'll explain both of these in just a second. Alright, so let's look at the first one here, Google link. Pretty much what this is saying is, if you've ever been on a web page, you know that there is a difference between before you click on the link and after. There's kind of some stylistic changes. So that's where pseudo selectors actually come into play. The website has those defined properties, and they actually change the way that a link looks before and after it is clicked. So I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Link is the unvisited link, remember? So I'm going to go ahead and give it a color of blue. And then when it's clicked, I'm going to go ahead and give it a color of red. Sorry, I typed blue there. Remember, usually the default is that it is going to be purple, like this color here. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. You can see that it's actually red now. Now, obviously, I can't really go back in time and change the link so that it doesn't look clicked. But you can see how powerful these pseudo selectors are, because you can do so many different things. And once we learn more properties, you can actually change different parts of the page, and it becomes very powerful to use these pseudo selectors. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Alright, so there we go. We've covered most of the pseudo selectors. I'm actually going to go ahead and add that hover property there back in case anyone wants to use the project files. So there we go. We've covered everything here, and we've added all of our pseudo selectors. So like I said, there's many more. I've linked a couple articles that help you to look at all of the different pseudo selectors, and most of them you're not really going to use very often. They aren't useful in any way because usually you just use some basic pseudo selectors like hover and active, which I haven't actually covered, but things like that. So you're not really going to use all of them, but I just wanted to give you an introduction to the main ones so that when it comes time to use them, you have the tools to finish the job or create that effect that you've always wanted. All right, let's move on.